In British academia, August usually feels like a pause. Campuses empty out, the lawns are quiet, professors breathe again. But for one man, this August was not quiet at all. Andrew Atherton, the Vice President of International Engagement at the University of Southampton, spent his summer not in leafy Hampshire, but in the sweltering heat of Gurugram, India, overseeing something historic. You see, Southampton has just opened its new Indian campus, the first British university to plant its flag on Indian soil. The approval came in January 2024, and by July 2025, lectures were already underway. 18 months from paperwork to students in seats. Atherton himself calls it a little bit of pressure. I guess that's one way to describe building a university halfway across the world. But this isn't just about one campus. It is about a global rush, a race to claim a slice of India's $65 billion higher education market. A race that began with one policy change. A single regulatory switch flipped in December 2023. Overnight, foreign universities could open campuses in India and even send their profits home. Just like that, the gates had opened. Now, 8 British universities are lining up their own outposts. The Australians even beat them to it. Everybody wants in. Because for universities, India is not just a market, it is the future of survival. But is India ready for this? Or, to be a little more provocative, are these universities coming to educate or to expand? Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Snigdha Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rachel Varghese and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. The story begins as many modern gold rushes do, with a policy change. In December 2023, India's higher education regulator, the University Grants Commission or UGC, announced that foreign universities could finally set up local campuses. Not just in special zones like Gujarat's Gift City, but anywhere. And more crucially, they could repatriate their profits. That last part changed everything. Suddenly, India's enormous underserved higher education market, $65 billion worth, was wide open. Universities began scouting for real estate, states started pitching land, partnerships, and incentives. Maharashtra even announced an Edu City in Navi Mumbai designed to host 5 foreign universities. Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, they all joined this race. Because hosting a foreign university is not just an education policy move, it is bragging rights. It says, we are open for business, we are world class. The timing too could not have been better or worse, depending on where you stand. You see, nearly 2 million Indian students are studying abroad. Every tuition payment, every rent check, every living expense chips away at the rupee. In the last decade, education related remittances from India have jumped from 2,400 crores to nearly 29,000 crore rupees. At the same time, immigration rules in the UK, Canada, and US have tightened. Post study work visas are much harder to get. Canada, in fact, rejected 80% of Indian student visas this year. So, universities are changing their models. If students can't come to you, you go to them. For students, this seems like a win. A Western degree at half the price without the airfare or the visa drama. But the first universities to arrive are not the elite ones. Not Oxford, not Harvard, not Cambridge. They are the middle tier institutions. The ones that are chasing growth. And they are moving fast. As one education consultant told my colleague Atul Krishna, universities are looking at themselves more like businesses. They are looking to grow, and India's demand far exceeds the supply. Speed is everything. But substance, that might come later. More on this in the next segment. Stay tuned. The rush that we're seeing today has been years in the making. Back in 2020, India's National Education Policy, or NEP, first suggested allowing the world's top 100 universities to open campuses locally. But it took 3 years for the rules to arrive. And when they did, the bar quietly lowered from the top 100 to the top 500. The hope officials said was that this would pave the way for truly elite institutions someday. So far, though, that day has not come. The entrants are solid, but not stellar. Southampton, Bristol, York, Aberdeen, Deakin, La Trobe, universities that are known, respected, but not the world's most prestigious. India has been generous with this red carpet. Foreign universities do not have to follow many of the same rules as Indian ones. They can skip the new multiple entry, multiple exit degree system. They can even avoid the mandatory 4-year undergraduate structure. Their only real requirement is that they offer the same degree that they offer back home. So, an 18-month business analytics program in India can carry the same name and on paper the same value as one in Australia or the UK. But here's the catch. A university is not just lectures, it is an experience, it is clubs, campus life, culture, community, and that is hard to recreate in a rented building in Gurgaon. Southampton knows this. That is why it has partnered with Deloitte and Investec for internships and placements, trying to prove its students will have real outcomes. But even in India, where degrees multiply, jobs don't, even the IITs saw placements drop by 10% this year. And that exposes the deeper truth. For most students, the dream of studying abroad was not just about the degree. It was also about the visa stapled to their passport. A campus in India can give you a British curriculum, but not a British work permit. And that is the paradox at the heart of this experiment. India may succeed in keeping more rupees at home, states may gain shiny new partnerships and investor friendly headlines, and universities may find new markets. But for students, the promise of a foreign degree might still feel incomplete without the foreign life that it once implied. Atherton, who traded the lawns of Southampton for Gurgaon's glass towers, is betting that India's enthusiasm will last longer than its skepticism. He says it is a large investment, but we expect to break even in 4 to 5 years, which is a confident statement, but behind it, a bigger question lingers. In this race to import global education, are we really building knowledge or just a new kind of business?
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings, and a full subscription offers daily, long-form feature stories, newsletters, and a whole bunch of premium podcasts. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the website. Today's episode was hosted and produced by my colleague Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.